Ladies and gentlemen, there was a major outage in the country that impacted four states. Major 911 outage in four states leave millions without an easy way to contact authorities. That is absolutely crazy. So, law enforcement agencies across four states were left scrambling following reports of a major 911 outage that left millions unable to quickly contact authorities in emergencies late Wednesday. Many of the outages reported were in Nebraska, Nevada, South Dakota, and Texas. They were restored. It took them 2.5 hours to get the system back up and working. But the FCC said Thursday its investigation is just getting started. When you call 911 in an emergency, it is virtually that call that goes through. The FCC has already begun investigating the 911 multi state outages that occurred last night to get to the bottom of the cause and the impact. The FCC chairwoman, Jessica Rosenworcel, this is what she said. So far, there's no indication that the outage was caused by a cyber attack or other malicious acts. Law enforcement officials told NBC News on Thursday the outage appeared to be related to Luden Technologies, a spokesperson for the communication and telecom company said. So I'm going to play this video from NBC News and then I'll be right back with the rest of my commentary.
Honolulu police reporting a brief 911 outage in the city, coming after more outages Wednesday night on the mainland.
You may have difficulty reaching us internally, and we're having difficulty receiving 911 calls as well.
6 p.m. Central Time, multiple 911 centers suddenly cut off in parts of four states: South Dakota, Nebraska, Nevada, and Texas. Several call centers pushed out emergency alerts, telling locals to use their cell phones or text for help.
To our knowledge, we have never experienced an outage of this magnitude or duration.
Today, phone service provider Lumen Technologies blamed three state outages on a cut fiber line due to a third-party company installing a light pole, writing, "We restored all services in approximately 2.5 hours."
We are dealing with 911 in last century technology. We're in the 21st century. We need to ensure that our 911 systems are current technology.
While an isolated event, experts say the outage underscores an urgent concern.
911, what is the address for the emergency?
U.S. cybersecurity has warned that hackers want to exploit vulnerabilities to disrupt or degrade 911 service. At risk, sensitive data that could affect emergency response abilities.
Was anybody injured?
Already, ransomware attacks on 911 centers, including Bucks County, Pennsylvania, have forced dispatchers to revert to manual systems. In 2017, 911 centers in more than a dozen states were paralyzed. Now, amid heightened global tensions and a divisive election looming here at home, concern that critical emergency communications can easily be undermined. Chris Krebs is the federal government's former cybersecurity chief.
The homeland, as we say, is no longer a sanctuary. So we really have to bake in cybersecurity resilience measures into every business plan, into every operational plan.
Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
Okay. So 2.5 hours, that's really significant, especially for a 911 outage. You know, car accidents, medical emergencies, and all kinds of things happening, that can easily happen in 2.5 hours. And if people don't feel like they can get help, that's a major problem. So, as you heard, the outage, it was in Nebraska, Nevada, South Dakota, and Texas. Wow. So, on Wednesday, some customers in Nevada, South Dakota, and Nebraska experienced an outage when a third party company unrelated to Luden physically cut our fiber. So the fiber optic cable got cut while installing a light pole. So that was all in the video. But you would think they would watch for that kind of stuff. I mean, that's crazy. So on Thursday, in the beginning, you heard Honolulu Police Department said on a social media post. So in Hawaii, the 911 system was also down. Okay. And that was Thursday. And 20 minutes later, the subsequent post said the system was working again. So they weren't 2.5 hours, but just 20 minutes. So it is unclear what caused the outage. So the police department in Honolulu never did identify what caused the outage there on Thursday. Wednesday's outage comes on the heel of a widespread AT&T outage in February. Oh yeah, I remember I did a video on that. That was across multiple states and some calls to 911 for hours, which the carrier said was most likely caused by a processor error, not a cyber attack. So, local law enforcement agencies reported a statewide outage in South Dakota shortly before 7 p.m. local time. And that was on Wednesday. Rapid City Police offered local alternatives to phone numbers for people to call for first responders and service until everything was restored over 2 hours later. South Dakota Department of Public Safety said on Wednesday in the evening, texting 911 is operating in most location. So, I mean, but that's kind of dangerous because the average person is not going to text 911. They're going to call 911. And if they're not aware of it, then that can be a dangerous situation there. So they said in South Dakota, the outage was around 7. They got everything fully restored by 10:38 p.m. Mm-mm-mm. So in Douglas County, Nebraska, so they pretty much echoed the same thing. They said their 911 went out due to a fiber cut. And, they were doing pretty much a lot of the same things. So they said that the service there was not completely restored until 4 a.m. Thursday. Wow. So, y'all, this just goes to show you nothing is foolproof. Nothing. Nothing. And Las Vegas said they lost their 911 service around 7 p.m. local time and did not get it restored until 10 p.m. So locals that tried to call 911 were not able to get through. They were urged to dial 911 on mobile devices and, and also text messaging to 911. That was another advice. So, wow. In Texas, in Del Rio, police said on social media Wednesday evening the issue was with the carrier and not with the city of Del Rio. The issue appeared to be with T-Mobile service. And, there was the same situation where it went out and came back on more than 3.5 hours later. Wow. That is absolutely crazy. So, y'all, let me know if you're in any of these states that were impacted, and let me know whether or not you were aware that 911 went down in your state. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.